Hey guys, you know I like collecting these physical compilation collections from Play Asia. I covered the Capcom Belt Action Collection, also the Psikyo Collection Volume 1, and now it's time to take a look at the Psikyo Collection Volume 2. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Tengai, also known as Sengoku Blade in Japan, was released in Japan arcades in 1996. Tengai is the sequel to Psikyo's 1993 arcade release Samurai Aces, also known as Sengoku Ace in Japan. Samurai Aces was included in the Psikyo Collection Volume 1. Both games share a similar aesthetic, taking place in feudal Japan, where you fight against steam-powered machinery. But there are some pretty big differences as well. Samurai Aces is a vertical scrolling shooter, and I would say the weakest entry in the Volume 1 collection. And Tengai is a horizontal scrolling shooter and a much improved experience all around. You'll have 6 selectable characters which are all pretty evenly balanced, but all have their own personalities. Being that I prefer vertical scrolling shooters over horizontal, and the fact that I had never played Tengai before, this was an entry that I was really not looking forward to on this collection. However, after spending some time with it, I can say that it holds up in quality with the rest of the entries. I really enjoyed the art style and thought that the little pets or assistants each character flies with added some character to the game. I also found the soundtrack to be quite memorable. Tengai was also ported to the Sega Saturn in 1996 and PS2 in 2004. These were both Japan releases, as the game has never seen a release outside of Japan. Strikers 1945-2 was released in arcades in 1997 and is a sequel to the original Strikers 1995, which was part of the Psikyo Collection Volume 1. The game is a vertical scrolling shooter where you can select from 6 different World War II style planes. Each plane has its own machine gun and bomb style, but there is no major difference from plane to plane. The game consists of 8 stages. The first 4 you play in a random succession, while the final 4 follow a linear path. I feel that Strikers 1945-2 is marginally better than the original. However, all the games in this series are of solid quality. So if you've played any of the Strikers 1945 releases, then you know what to expect. Gunbird 2 was probably my most anticipated game on this collection. Once again, this is the follow-up to the original Gunbird, which was on the Psikyo Collection Volume 1. Gunbird 2 was originally released in 1998 in Japanese arcades. Then in 2000 it was ported to the Sega Dreamcast, which is where I had played it prior to this collection. It's important to note that this is the port of the original arcade release and not the Dreamcast release. This is significant because the Dreamcast port was published by Capcom and has 2 extra playable characters, one being Morrigan from the Darkstalker series, and then Annie from the Samurai Aces series. This was a huge letdown to me, being that Morrigan was always my favorite character when playing the Dreamcast version. That being said, this is still an extremely fun vertical scrolling shooter. You can select from 6 different characters, and their unique characters' design and attacks make for a good diversity of gameplay. Even though this entry wasn't published by Capcom, it still has great Capcom feel, as the music is very fun and upbeat. Similar to Strikers 1945-2, this game consists of 7 stages, which is divided into 2 stage loops, meaning you play the first 3 stages in a random loop, and then the same random loop will apply to a different set of stages starting at stage 4. Dragon Blaze was another game on this collection that I had never played before, so I didn't know what to expect going in. And after spending some time with this one, I was pleasantly surprised. Dragon Blaze was released in arcades in 2000 and was ported to the PS2 in 2006 as part of Taito's Psikyo Shooting Collection Volume 3. This is another vertical scrolling shooter. This game is considered more of a bullet hell shooter than most of Psikyo's shooters, and is just a blast to play. You have 4 playable characters who each ride their own dragon. Your attacks consist of shooting and bombing like every other game in this collection, but the big difference is that you can dismount your dragon, providing a completely different playing style. So once you dismount your dragon, it will move in front of you in a stationary position. While the dragon is stationary, it is invulnerable. You will then be able to move around freely. However, your character itself will lose a significant amount of firepower, which was previously provided by the dragon. You can at any time summon the dragon back to you, or simply fly over to remount it. The enemies and level design were pretty unique, to say the least. I'm not sure what I was shooting at, to be honest with you, as they look like overgrown angry plants. However, my favorite out of all the enemies were these little Ninja Turtle looking characters, which were just absolutely awesome. So to wrap things up, I actually bought this collection for Gunbird 2 and Strikers 1945 2, but after playing it for quite some time, I feel that I actually prefer Tengai and Dragon Blades. And I don't know if that's just because I haven't played them before and they're a little bit more unique experiences, but I had a lot of fun with those games. So overall, I really enjoyed this collection. I would prefer this over the first one. If you were to get one or the other, I would definitely say grab this one over the first one, unless there's some game on the first one that you really prefer. This is $34.99 from playasia.com. I'll put a link down in this description. You can also get all these games on the Nintendo eShop individually. I think they run $7.99 a piece, so you can grab, if you just want one of them, you can just go pick it up on the Nintendo eShop. And there is also a Psikyo Collection Volume 3 that is due to release in May of 2019. So that's it for this, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.